Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I wasn't sure I was going to do this video because, well, I did the morning coffee this morning and I did some reading this afternoon. I was going to do a little bit more reading. I'm really getting engrossed in Jurassic Park, which I'm surprised by, but that's a good thing. I did get a few more books. As a Man Thinketh. This is very, as you can see, you could probably burn through this in like 20 minutes. But I won't, because I want to absorb everything. And then, of course, True Believer. The True Believer, excuse me, by Mr. Eric Hoffer. But anyway, that's not what tonight's about. Tonight, I'm actually going to talk about this. Jeeps, and why I love them. But first I gotta shout out. I gotta find a picture of, let me go to my Facebook here. Let's see. I want to just find a photo. Let's see. Because I want to show you. I think it's in my profile pictures here. It's gotta be. We're talking ancient history here. Gotta go back in the archives. Alright, let's see. Come on, it's gotta be coming up. My God, how many profile pics can one have? Man. My God. I apologize, everybody. Well, we can discuss this one. That's part of the reason as to my love for Jeeps. That's my grandfather in World War II driving a Jeep. The original, the real McCoy, which I would love to drive. I would love to have. That would be awesome. Let's see. I don't see. I guess I don't have it in there. Let me just keep looking here. It's got to be around. It's got to be. Whoa. I don't know what that was. Scared the bejeebers out of me. Alright, I know this is riveting stuff, but I wanted to show, this is my motorcycle ahead. That's all well and good, but I'm a little surprised there. Let me see if I can find it in... Probably should have did this beforehand, right? Like, that would have made a lot more sense. As instead of you looking at my forehead. Ah, here we go. There we go. A young Mike with his original Jeep there. 2000 Jeep. I love that Jeep. That thing, the adventures I went on, oh, if it could talk. I mean, I love that. I was 23, 24 in that picture. I don't know if you can, there you go. There I am. That's when I had abs. It was a beautiful thing. Let's see, there's, I might have my other Jeep in here. Ah, here we go. There's the JK that I had in front of the old house there, my childhood home. My brother in that picture too. So yeah, as you can see, my love affair with Jeeps goes way back, mostly because of my grandfather and the heritage with World War II. Hold on. More gentleman caller. Because there's something just so sweet about gentleman caller, and I'm using my Rossi pipe here. I can't. It's just good. Anyway, so then the history of World War II. It's like the little engine that could. This small little thing that could go anywhere, do anything, and I just love it. I love like a utilitarian kind of vehicle that can just do anything. The sense of freedom, and you know, it goes against the whole conventional wisdom, especially this day and age, where you know it's basically a box on four wheels, and there's nothing aerodynamic about it. It's horrible on gas. You know, things break down quite often with Jeeps. Well, not for me, but you know, if you modify them and whatnot, and you lift them and all that stuff, problems happen. I For me, I never had a problem with my first Jeep because I didn't lift it. Sadly, I always wanted to lift it. I just never got the chance to do it, nor did I have the money. But I went on some amazing adventures, and even around here, I did some four-wheel drive, but I didn't do hard trails or anything technical or anything like that. It was adventurous stuff. Mostly maybe logging roads was the most difficult with stuff in the way, I guess you could say. But that Jeep, amazing time I had with that. Going to the beach, driving on the beach. Slept in it many times on my adventures. It was just awesome. I mean, that's what it was. It was the freedom from it. But anyway, back to my father. Actually triggered it because in Vietnam he drove in Jeeps, and he you know, when I was growing up, I remember him. He was taking us to Newport Beach, and I remember him saying, "Ah, I wish I had a Jeep." He never got one, surprisingly. He had a Firebird, an '86 Firebird with the T-tops, and was awesome. Of course, the T-tops used to leak, but hey, I'm a Jeep guy. Water gets places. In any case, he never got the Jeep, and I was surprised by that because he'd always talked fondly about it. And even my grandfather. I remember when I got my first Jeep, my grandfather sat in the Jeep and he did the prayer and blessed it and everything, and that was, looking back, that was pretty special now that I think about it. But and then I see that photo. I didn't see that photo till after his death of him sitting in the Jeep. And then I thought of that and stuff. So that's a special photo for me. But yes, my father said, yeah, I'd love a Jeep and stuff, because we're going to Newport. After work, he used to take us body surfing down at Newport Beach. And he mentioned that or whatever. And it just stuck in my head. And I remember growing up, I'm like, I want a Jeep. I want the Jeep Comanche. I love that, the truck, the short little two-door truck. And then the Grand Cherokee. And it's funny because my father, after that, when in the 90s, he ended up getting a Grand Cherokee, the Laredo. I'm like, wait a minute, why didn't you get the Jeep thing? But he was older and he wanted more comfort, and I got that. So yeah, when I finally got my job, my first job here, my real job, I guess you could say, first real job, I saved up and I got my Jeep, and the adventures were on, and it was an amazing time with that Jeep. Looking back, when I was like, well, I want to get the value for my Jeep at the time and trade in and get the new JK. It's a four-door, more room, more adventures, and I regret selling that first one because that was like, the grill was still metal. It was very Jeep-like. It was fun. It was really fun. I still had the no power doors. I had air conditioning and everything, and the CD player. That was like my luxuries. But I'm like, yeah, it's a Jeep. You gotta have it this way. And then I got the JK, and the improvements that they did from the JK, from the YJ. Was it the YJ I had? I always get the YJ and the TJ mixed up. Anyway, it was the year 2000. I think that's. I can't believe I'm blanking on this now. Oh, that breeze feels great. So that was great. The JK was good too. I had great adventures, not as many as I had with the original one. Things had changed by then. It was 2007. My life was changing and stuff. So, and then 2012 came. I ended up trading in the JK, which I regret. My daughter came to be, and priorities changed. And I always wanted a Grand Cherokee, so I said, well, if I'm going to be in dad mode, I'm going to go with the Grand Cherokee, like my dad had. It was comfortable. I love them. They're great. Still, you know, my daughter busts my chops to this day and says, why'd you do that? Why'd you trade it in? But, you know, I did get to bring my daughter home in a JK from the hospital when she was born. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I've always had an affinity for Jeeps. I love the freedom it represents. It's just a unique vehicle. It's very American. It's like a Harley Davidson, if you will. So that was my thing. I just grew up kind of, and not just Jeeps. I mean, Jeep's the one I love and the one I prefer and the one I'll always kind of go to. If you put a gun to my head, I'm going to walk over to a Jeep, over a Bronco, over a Land Rover, so forth, and, you know, Toyota and all that other stuff. But they're all great too. I like that they're very capable and they're unique in their own way, and it's funny how they all can kind of exist and they all have a fan base, you know. And I'm a Jeeper. I love the Jeeps, but I admire the Bronco. Like you said, I'm probably going to get the Bronco just for something different, something unique. Although that Gladiator, though, still calling, and I always wanted a Jeep truck, so I don't know. It's tough to say. Man, I'm a Jeep guy, but... So tonight's video is just about my Jeeps. I was going to get a little deep with Eric and some of the stuff that I wrote down earlier, and I decided, no, let's talk about Jeeps, because I was supposed to do that the other day. Now the JL I do like. I like that too. I like a two-door Rubicon, to be honest. I was starting, you know, I was all about the four-door. When it came out, the JLU, I was like, yeah, I'll kind of do that. I'll finally jump up to the Rubicon, because remember, I had the Sport when I talked about, I had the Sahara, and now I need the Rubicon to complete the circle, if you will. And I'm thinking, to myself, yeah, four-door, I like the four-door. Everybody does, because that's why the two-door. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the two-door now. Like, I kind of shifted. And then, of course, the Gladiator came on scene, and I was all about the Gladiator. I still am. I'd love to get one. But again, all these vehicles are overpriced. But the two-door Bronco kind of appeals to me. So it's kind of like that early Jeep. I mean, if I'm going to go over the Bronco, I'm going to start where it kind of starts, with a two-door, and go from there. Of course, now it's rumored they're going to make a Bronco truck to rival the Gladiator. Not a shock, to be honest. They'd be foolish not to do that. So I love competition. I love that. I don't know. What do you guys like? What are you a car person? You are more of a Jeep guy like me, or a SUV or four-wheel drive type of vehicle, which, you know, is my forte. And if you had to choose, would you go with a Bronco, a Gladiator, a Jeep Wrangler, or, you know, a Toyota Tundra, or whatever? What would you guys go with? I'm curious to see how many fellow Jeepers I got following me or watching me. I know I have 5 subscribers now, and a shout out to my friend Bob, who's subscribing. I kind of confessed I finally started doing this, and he's one of the reasons I started doing this. Now, Bob and I met, about a year and a half ago, because I bought a boosted Mini X, and he had one. Well, he had a regular boosted too, the longboard, and I was just curious. I'm like, is there a leak in the oh, no, I think that's a bug. I thought there was water dripping. I'm like, well, it hasn't rained. Nope, it's just a spider. Just a spider. Yeah, you know, as long as he doesn't land on my head. It would have been good entertainment for you, bad for me. So we met about a year and a half ago on the Rhode Island Boosted Board Facebook page, and we were the only 2 active ones. I still think that's the case. Well, he's more active than me, because I haven't ridden the Boosted Board in about a year. Not that I don't like it or anything. I took it apart because I was doing something, and then I got caught up and busy, and I stripped one of the bolts, and I got to find a bolt, and I've just been too lazy. And I haven't really hung out with Bob because of the whole virus thing and everything, and I hadn't had a chance. Although I do want to hang out, Bob. If you're watching this, we need to get together at some point. So yeah, and plus I fell last year. I took a nasty spill on the bike trail we ride, because the bike trail around here, the roots of these trees push up on the asphalt and make severe bumps. And Bob and I, there's one place we call the Death Star trench run, because it's so bumpy, but they replaced it and fixed it, as he said. So that's good news. So I just haven't had a chance to get out there. But Bob and I, we met, we went riding, we loved riding, and we would talk about YouTube and stuff. He has a channel. I'll, of course, leave the link in the description there. And Bob would always say, well, you know, because I got all these different other cameras, and I should have just went for it. But Bob was right. I should have just did it. And I didn't do that. I kind of was like, all right, I had the Osmo Pocket. I was going to use that. That was going to be my big thing. It's got a gimbal and all this small. And I didn't want a camera that was intrusive. Like, I didn't want it. And the Osmo Pocket I might use for something. I don't know. And then there was the action cam that they came out with DJI. And I liked that. I'm like, well, all right, this is a possibility. And then I was like, no, it's still not, for whatever reason. Then the Sony ZV-1 came out, and it was perfect and ideal for my setup. Now, if you notice, watching my videos, if you watch on the phone, it looks good. Fills up the whole screen. If you watch in regular mode on your desktop, it looks good. But you go to theater, it still boxes out the thing. So I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what. I don't know if it's the set. I did mess with the settings in the camera. That seemed to work. But I don't edit this video. So what I do is I basically upload the file right from the SD cards, which is probably wrong. But I'm all about just getting it done, like getting it out and done. And eventually I'll edit stuff, but I'm not going to, it's going to be special. Talking head things like this, I kind of just want to do. So, you know, I don't want to make a big spectacle of it. But I guess if you're watching theater view, that would annoy you. But most of you probably watch on a phone, so I think I can get away with it for now. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Bob, what do you think? What am I doing wrong, Bob? I'll ask you. See, it's like, it smells like hay, then turns into like a molasses sweetness thing. I can't explain it. It's good though. But Bob's an interesting guy. He's a tech review kind of guy too, but he buys all his own stuff. He's very down to earth, good guy, lives very close to me. I'm glad I met him. And I trust his reviews. Like, I like talking shop with him. It's fun. We don't get to do it as much. I know he's busy. I've been busy. I'm a little less busy now. I'm on my sabbatical from podcasting and stuff. So hopefully we get to talk a little bit more. But he does some pretty good work. And it's funny, from watching his start of his channel to where he's gone is pretty cool. There's another YouTuber I followed like that too, when he first started his journey, and where he was filming wise, which also inspires me because, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the microphone. This isn't the greatest film work in the history of mankind, but they improved as they got along and moved along. And as I was talking to Bob earlier, when I told him about the YouTube channel, and I told him, well, this is what I'm doing, and he's like, oh, I'll check it out, blah, 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 and he subscribed, so I thank you. He's number 5, I believe. I hope it's you, Bob. If it's not, you better subscribe. Yeah, so I told him that, and I had lost my train of thought because I was laughing at that, my own joke, which is stupid. But anyway, it'll come back to me, probably after I do this video. But in any case. Oh, that's what we're talking about. I was telling him, you know, I've done 20, I think this is 20, I think this will be 28 videos. Somewhere around there. 27, 28. Around there. And he laughed. He's like, well, you're doing it. Because I'm testing the algorithm to see if the more I do, and if I do it daily, if that makes any difference in appearing in the algorithm and maybe getting subscribers. That's not really so far, but it's still early, right? So we'll see if this experiment works. It's been fun, though. So he was impressed that I did these many videos so soon, but it's more of crafting how to talk to the camera, the settings as well. Everything's on automatic here, so you know, even the mic levels, it seems this camera adjusts it to the correct levels, because you can't go in unless it's like manual and you change it that way where you reduce the settings. But if you got it in auto like I do, it just kind of does it for you. It's funny how it just knows. It peaks a little. I think it does. does a good job. I don't think it's bad, but I can tell I'm peaking a bit at some points when obviously when I shout or whatever. But it's serviceable, I think. I've seen other videos. Some of you know I follow George Bruno, and he does his talking head videos, and he's got a lapel mic, I believe, and whatever he's using, it's distorted a little bit. It's not his fault. It's just the mic that he's used, the quality that I believe. That's just my take. I could be completely wrong, but that's how it sounds to me. I'm an audio guy. And even this audio is not the greatest in the world, but it does what it needs to do. I might get the shotgun mic for these videos, though. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm rambling. I'm 20 minutes here. I'm just rambling on and on and on. I was supposed to talk about Jeeps, and I kind of did. But I wanted to mention to Bob because Bob was a big help in encouraging me to get to this point and taking this step. So special shout out to him. He might convince me to get a drone at some point. Oh, that smell. It's so sweet. And I love this pipe. I don't think Bob's done a video in a week or two. So Bob, get back on that. I might have more videos than you by the end of the year. So you better, challenge accepted? No? Yes? Anyway, I'm just rambling here. I think that's going to do it tonight, guys. Let me know about your thoughts with Jeeps or what types of vehicles you like. Let me know about the content. If you're watching on a desktop, is it a problem for you or not? Maybe I'll figure that out at some point as I go here. But just let me know. Check out Bob's channel. And maybe I'll get up early and do a morning coffee. I think I will. Maybe I'll talk about something I read tonight. I don't know, because I'm going to go read. And, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Or I'll do a video at night. I don't know. I'd rather not. It's a Sunday night. I got to work Monday, so I'll probably do the morning coffee, and that'll be it for tomorrow. And that's it for today, whatever you want to call it. So thanks for joining, and I will see you next time.